Okay, we have a question from Brandon here. He has one video clip that he wants to cut into multiple pieces, and he wants to put a separate tracker on each segment with a separate text message. And we did have some back and forth there, and he did clarify it a little bit, that he already had it selected. Now, that being said, this is something that's a little wonky, I gotta admit that. But here is a procedure. If you follow this exactly as I'm doing it, it should work for you. But you can quickly get hosed up if you mix up the steps. So take a look at this and I'll show you how to do it. Anyway, you put your clip down there. And what we're going to just briefly do here, I'll just quickly scan it. We'll put a tracker on the blue truck until we get up here to where they're parked at the light. Then we'll put a tracker on the trailer and follow the trailer until the blue truck turns off, at which point we'll start tracking the white car. And the white car is even going to disappear in the left lane on us, but we will still be able to track them. And then when we catch up to him, we're going to switch our tracker back over to the trailer. So that's what we're going to do. Now, this is the way that I would do it if I was you. The next thing you need to do is just simply add your object that you're going to add to the trackers before we start tracking. And I use simply the, let's see here, just the basic text. And I'm just going to modify it real quickly here. But basically, I will stretch it out to the full length of the video clip. And I'm going to go into the advanced mode here. And in the advanced mode, I'm just going to go ahead and delete the text itself. And I'm going to go up here to the shapes. And I'm going to select the arrow. And I'm just going to position it like this. And I'm just going to modify it just briefly so that it's easier to see. I'm going to make black text. Obviously, you're going to use your own text object or whatever. And we're going to go ahead and give the, well, we can ease up with the opacity, and then we'll make a black border here. All right. It's just something that we can easily see and that we can follow. We will be using this in a little bit, but we're just going to add it here. And what we want to do is we want to have these two pieces on top of each other before we start cutting up our segments, which is the next thing. So the first segment, we wanted to follow the blue truck up here until where they approximately park a little bit, and then we're going to switch our tracker over to the other side. So with either both of them selected or neither of them selected, we're going to go ahead and make a cut here with the scissors so that we cut through both of them at the same time. Next, we'll just follow the trailer up until the blue truck turns off, and that's when the white car becomes visible. So we will switch our tracker from the trailer over to the white car, and then we'll follow the white car up until we pass them up. Right about here, I think, and then we'll just switch it back over to the trailer. So the point is that we're going to be tracking this in 4 different segments, and we're going to be changing the text on each one of them. So then we'll label which car we're following. So the first thing then, of course, is to select the first segment. We're going to add the tracker to each one of the segments first off. And we do that obviously over here in Video and AI Tools, and we activate motion tracking. And what we want to do is we want to size our tracker so it only looks at the thing we want to track and not the surrounding area. So in this case, it's this little truck here, and we're going to go ahead and activate the tracker, and we can see that it tracked it pretty well. And it will stop here at the end. Now, using these shortcut keys, Shift Home, first select the next segment and then hit Shift Home. That moves us to the first frame of the second segment. At this point now, we can activate the motion tracker again, and then we can move it over here and resize it so we're only following something on the back side of the trailer here. Once we've got that set, we will go ahead and activate the motion tracker. Again, I'll move it out of the way so we can observe. And that shall run to the end of this segment. All right, so again, we select the next segment and we do Shift Home. And now we can activate motion tracker again. And now we can move that right on top of the white car. And we can see that we got to make it really tiny. And we will go ahead and activate the tracking. Again, we'll move this out of the way. And you can see our tracker is following the car even when it went over into the left lane. So that's fantastic. And so at the end of this, we will now select the next segment. And again, we will use Shift Home to jump to that segment. And in this case, and we're going to activate motion tracking again. And we're going to move our tracker over to the trailer again. I should have probably size them before I move them over, but basically that's what we do. And let's go ahead and activate our tracker. And we can see that indeed we are following that. Now all that remains is for us to label each one of these objects, and we will start with the first one. And what we want to do is we can go ahead and you need to follow this order here kind of carefully, because otherwise it'll get messed up. We're going to get back into this 2 times, but we're going to go ahead and type in here blue pickup. Okay, so this is our blue pickup. We switch down to the video clip and we choose default title. Okay, now our little tracker disappeared, so we'll go ahead and click the eye so we can see it. And now we need to go back up to the text element again. And in the text element, we want to use we want to change our X and Y right here, okay? This is important that we do it this way. Maybe you can move it. You can test whether you can just move it in place. But I generally find that sometimes it will bounce off and it creates an issue. So if we play it, we should be following the blue truck, and we basically are. So that's pretty good. So that's our blue truck. Now, we will go ahead and select this next text, and we'll again do Shift Home, and that will allow us to type in the word trailer. And we will now link the trailer to our motion element here, default, and it moved over there. Again, we will reactivate this. We will switch back over here for any alignment that we want to do, and so something like that. Maybe you don't even need to do that, but basically that's that. Now, as we go along, we can see we're following that pretty well. Shift Home, and we will select the next segment. In this case, it's the white car, and we're on the text, so we will change this to white car. And then we will switch there back to the video, and we will select the default title, and we'll turn on our little eye, and then we'll switch back to our text. A lot of switching back and forth here, but then we will change the X element, X position, Y position, and there we go. And that should be pretty good. That should follow us. And look at that, it follows us really well right into when he went into the left lane, stays with it beautifully. All right, let's go ahead and do our last text element, and we're going to go ahead and call that trailer again. So let's go back up here and do trailer. And I just thought, no, I guess not. So now we want to switch back to our video clip, and we want to link it, and it kind of moves it over. It's not exactly right. Make sure we put a little eyeball on there so we know what we are tracking. We switch back to the text side. We go down to the transform section. We change our X and Y so that they're just right. So following that procedure, we now have it completely following. And I'll go ahead and play it, and then I'll speed it up in the playback so it won't take so long. But follow along and see each time that we get to one of these transitions, the tracker changes.